Yo, what it do? It's me. It's that wrestling dude. Welcome to another edition of, I guess, that wrestling dude podcast. Never got a good ass name for it. Joined here by the man from Dubai, Mr. Xander Keys. Man, welcome, welcome, welcome. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me.
All right, man. Let's get right into it. Who trained you? Where you based out of, and how long you been at it?
Yeah, so I originally started training at Ring Wars Carolina in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Been wrestling for I think about 3 years now. Trained by Eddie Brown. He's also just encouraged me to reach out to other wrestlers and train with them. So I've been fortunate enough to do some training at other places as well. Trained with Lodi a few times. It's been a great guy from WCW.
Yeah.
Whenever I go to his school, he's always nothing but welcome to me and has taught me a lot. While there, I've been fortunate enough to work with guys like Lucky Ali, huge guy on the North Carolina Independents, actually is in NXT right now, doing great things. But, that guy was amazing and nothing but nice to me every time I saw him. Been fortunate enough to train with Fodder. He's been a huge help for me as a professional wrestler, just with the advice he's been giving me and, just one-on-one trainings. AJ Kazana, I've had the privilege of working with him one-on-one a few times, doing great things over there in NWA. So, I've been really fortunate and blessed to be able to work with some great guys and girls who have really, really encouraged me and steered me in a direction that has allowed me to do things that I didn't even think I would be doing at this stage of my career.
Yeah, that's good though, because you always hear all the wrestlers used to talk about the old school days of going from territory to territory, and their main thing was being able to learn different styles each place you go. So that's dope that you've been able to branch out and get with other people that can teach you things that Nightstick couldn't teach you at just off of his arsenal stuff.
Exactly. It's been a huge blessing for me, honestly.
You're a lifelong fan of wrestling?
Lifelong fan, man. I remember being a little kid, man, and I always tell the story of I fell in love with wrestling the first time I saw it. And I used to sneak into my parents' living room late at night, way past bedtime.
Yeah.
And I would turn the TV all the way down and I would turn the TV on and watch Monday Night Raw with no sound, just so I wouldn't wake anybody up. But that's how much I loved wrestling. And just a quick funny story I had when I was a kid, me and my siblings, we made a championship belt. And my dad had a ladder in the garage one day, and we went out and we hung this title from a tree. And we did a ladder match out there. And I remember I got to the top of the ladder. I was about to pull this championship down, and I got pushed off the top of a 15-foot ladder. And I shattered my arm from my elbow to my wrist.
Oh.
And even through all that, man, I was like, I love this, man. And I've never looked back. I always knew that at some point in my life I was going to give it a shot. And I did, and it's been amazing.
So tell me your I guess you call it your origin story of how you actually got into it, because getting into wrestling is a ballsy thing, man. Just even jump in and decide I'm gonna go even check out a school is a ballsy thing.
Yeah, man. Honestly, during COVID, I really started getting into the gym. And I'm a pretty big guy. I think I don't think people realize it, because I always hear the same thing from everyone when they see me is like, man, you're a lot bigger than I thought. I'm about 6'3". Right now I'm probably at a close to 240. So I'm a pretty big guy.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a try. I did some research, and it was actually my Father's Day present. Was like 2 months to wrestling school.
That's cool.
Got the money to go to wrestling school. It was my Father's Day gift, and I'm sure they thought, hey, we'll give him this money. He'll go to wrestling school, and he won't do it. He won't like it, or 90% of people who step in a wrestling school, take a couple bumps, and they're like, you know what, this ain't for me, man.
Yeah.
But I was fortunate enough that from the moment I stepped in, I was like, man, I love this. And that's how I started in wrestling.
Was you a natural since day one?
I won't say I was a natural. I think certain things came naturally, the charisma, the talking. But I mean, there's nothing natural about, getting thrown off a top rope and landing on your back.
Yeah.
There's nothing natural about it. So, yeah, I've definitely had to work hard at certain aspects, but there are aspects in the wrestling business that have come easy for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just the talking thing can get you way, way farther than being the best in the ring anyways. I mean, personally, because
Absolutely.
you can be the best and you can't talk to people. You don't have that charisma. I mean, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah, I just had that talk with some guys last night. I told them, I said, there's something about wrestling that you don't just want to get in the ring and be doing moves. Make it make sense.
Yeah.
You have to grab the audience's attention, and you have to do that through talking, through your mannerisms, through something. And like I said, that aspect of wrestling, I feel, came easy for me, to where I can walk through the curtain and I'm going to get your attention one way or another.
Okay. Who'd you emulate when you first broke in?
Say that one more time.
Who'd you emulate? Who'd you take from? Who'd you
Man, honestly, oh man. Honestly, Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase.
Okay.
I watched a lot of old school wrestling growing up. I remember going to the video store on the weekends and I would get VHS tapes. And I always loved the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. I loved Jake the Snake Roberts. I loved, obviously, being a Muslim character, the Iron Sheik.
Yeah.
And just took elements of everybody that I've seen, even newer wrestlers, The Miz, MJF, Razor Ramon was one of my favorite wrestlers growing up, Kane, just taking aspects of all of these guys who I loved growing up and just figuring out a way to make it my own.
Yeah.
But all of them are great influences. Anybody who steps in the ring, I mean, you have something, whether good or bad, that I'm going to watch and try to take something from, like, hey, I can twist that and make it my own, or I'm never going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You break in as Xander Keys, or you had something embarrassing at the beginning?
No, I was always Xander Keys. I've always been Xander Keys. My original gimmick, actually, I went to a seminar very early in my career with EC3, Braun Strowman, Austin Aries, did a little bit of the Control Your Narrative seminar.
Yeah.
And when I got in there, they said, hey, cut a promo. And I'll never forget, I was told, don't go in there with a character if you don't have one. Just be yourself. So I went in there as myself, told them my story. And then I was like, but I do have like a character I'm kind of working on. And it was Xander Keys, Keys to Success. I was more of a motivational speaker.
Okay.
But I just gave like really terrible advice. And I'll never forget, everybody in that seminar at the end said, you have something there. Like, that was amazing. Even Braun Strowman was like, wow, like, you had my attention from the moment you said something. And I went back. My trainer, Nightstick Eddie Brown, said, you know what? I've always wanted to do a Muslim character, a rich guy, asshole. And he said, I think you can do it. And just being able to take elements from other wrestlers, saying, hey, maybe you should carry the flag to the ring. Hey, Jem Stone, I have to give him credit here. I hate you, Jem, because you've never given me my rematch from when you beat me early in my career. And he knows I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to get my rematch one day. But he actually came up with my finishing move named the Dubai Bye.
Okay.
And he says, every time I say it, I owe him royalties. So thank you. I'll give you credit now. I owe you some royalties for a Dubai Bye.
Yeah.
But yeah, just taking elements from other wrestlers giving me advice has turned Xander Keys into who he is today.
Yeah, and that's dope too. Going to seminar that early on and not really cut promos like that, and guys like that telling you got something, man. That's got to be a huge motivation for you.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, loved it.
And it's such a short amount of time too, man. You've kind of figured it out, man. Because like you're not a cheesy, like you don't play it too cheesy. Like it's real and it's authentic, and you're not trying to be over the top with it either.
No, absolutely not. I've really taken to this character and made it my own, but it's not so far off from who I really am.
Yeah.
It's they always say, whoever you are in wrestling, it's you turned up to 100.
Absolutely.
And probably just in my normal day life, I'm Xander Keys, but just not as much as when I get in that wrestling ring. But there are aspects of my everyday life that are Xander Keys.
All right, turn it up.
Absolutely.
Why pants versus traditional trunks?
In all honesty, it's probably just because my legs are tattooed. um, and yeah, so it's probably just to cover up some of my tattoos, things like that. But also I've been kind of playing with some new gear and things like that. So you never know what's coming down the pipeline. So
Okay. Yeah, I had guy down south, August Artois, and I asked him the same thing. And he said, "Yeah, I got shitty tattoos, so I figured might as well cover them up."
Yeah, and another thing, August Artois, amazing. I had the opportunity to do his Just Wrestling early in my career as well, and he had a great platform for wrestlers, and I told him he needs to bring it back. I mean, it was a phenomenal atmosphere that he had, and he's a great guy who's traveling the world and really doing some great things. So
yeah, I don't think he wants
August
people.
Artois, man.
I don't think he wants people knowing how great of a guy he really is.
Yes, absolutely. He's a huge fan of wrestlers doing it the right way.
Correct. Yeah.
So great guy.
Would you describe your ring style as?
I would say methodical, powerful, and very adaptable. I've had the opportunity to wrestle cruiserweights. I've wrestled super heavyweights, and no matter what, I think you're going to see something different every time I step in the ring.
That's good. You're able to work with everybody. That's good.
Absolutely.
What do you think has been your best match out there? Like, if you had to tell somebody to go check you out on YouTube right now, what should they go check out?
Oh man, I had a 25-minute match with Tiger, and we beat the hell out of each other for 25 minutes, man. And I don't think there was a single person in that building that night that didn't feel that we did something special that night.
It's gotta be easy going in with a vet like that who's been around a while.
Yeah, I mean, he was amazing, and he hits hard.
Yeah,
but that physicality, it's something I really enjoy.
What do you think's been your biggest moment so far? Being RWC champ?
Yeah, being RWC champ was probably one of my biggest accomplishments. Also being the FWE United States champion, that was another great accomplishment. Getting to wrestle former WCW tag team champion Mark Jindrak. Getting to wrestle former ECW original CW Anderson.
Okay.
I've gotten to share the ring with some great vets who at the end of the night will come to me and say, "Hey, keep it up," or "Hey, this was great, man. Pleasure. I'm excited to see what you're going to do down the line," things like that. So just having opportunities and moments like that to share the ring with guys who are on a higher level or a level that I, aspire to be at.
Yeah.
It's huge, man. And to hear at the end of the night, "Hey, you didn't fuck up."
Yeah. That's a great compliment right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You're talking about FWE, man. You just announced you're a regular roster member now, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've been a part of quite a few of their, I think probably about their last 5 shows. Was their United States champion. Unfortunately lost it to Mark Jindrak. But I've been fortunate enough to step in that ring and really get some new fans or some fans who may not like me as much, but it's been a great platform. They always have a great crowd, and it's been a great opportunity for me in my career to show what I can do on a bigger stage in front of a big crowd.
So you basically out of the Carolinas. I mean, have you run the game that you run? Have you run into some crazy ass fans?
Yeah. Funny thing is, I got reported to I don't even know who, like the Department of Defense or something. I got reported as a terrorist by a fan, I've gotten some pretty bad DMs from people saying, hey, go back to where you came from. We don't want you here. Things like that. But to me, it's just comical. I've been told, they're going to call ICE on me and deport me.
Yeah.
I don't pay it any attention. It just means I'm doing my job.
No, absolutely. But I didn't even hear that Department of Defense thing. Like, did they give you a call and like, hey, we got a report about you?
Like it was really bad. This guy was really adamant that I was a terrorist.
Yeah.
And he was even like emailing like promotions that I wrestle at and was telling them like, do not book him. He's a terrorist. Like it was really, really bad. But they just kind of found it comical. And I think the best response was, I think he emailed Nightstick Eddie Brown, and Nightstick said, yeah, but something about like, but are you going to buy a ticket? He said, yeah, I'm going to buy a ticket to watch him lose. And he said, you know what, man, if you're doing it and you got people that invested and they're still going to buy a ticket to watch you wrestle, you're doing something right.
No, absolutely. And that's like old school heat right there too. Like you don't see that a lot. You don't see that a lot anymore, man.
No.
That's a great testament to you. Where have you been outside of Carolinas? Like obviously you went down to Florida for Just Wrestling, right?
Yeah, I've been to Florida actually quite a few times.
Okay.
I've wrestled at NGCW there. I actually wrestled Apollo Misery, who he's on NWA now as Alex Misery.
Yep.
So I had the opportunity to wrestle him down there. I've been down to WWC Florida quite a few times. And coming up this weekend, actually, I'll be in Maryland, making my debut in Maryland. I've been out to Tennessee. And did School of Morton a few times out there. So, really some promotions have been reaching out to me in other states as well, Georgia, Virginia, South Carolina. So I'm really hoping that, sky's the limit.
Yeah. Do you have to adjust your mentality or your approach going to a different state, or you just same thing everywhere you go?
Everything that you see is what you're going to get every time Xander Keys steps through that curtain. Like you said, it's an old school gimmick. It's easy heat, but I put my own twist on it. And I don't deviate from the plan. I know who Xander Keys is. And like I said, that's what's gotten people's attention. That's what's gotten promoters to want to reach out to me. So you're going to get Xander Keys authentically each and every time I step through that curtain.
All right. What is it about wrestling, man? That's got you in it all the time?
Man, it's the high, it's the rush, it's the locker room, it's everything about wrestling I've thought it was going to be. It is. When I was a kid, wrestling had me enamored, whether I wanted to cheer somebody, whether I wanted to boo somebody. And so being able to give a little kid that same feeling I had when I was a child, there's nothing better. If I see a little kid booing me, I think at the last show I had a little kid kick me. But to know I can get that reaction out of somebody, I love it, man. And it just reminds me of when I was a kid.
Yeah. It's gonna be like no other feeling, man, to go out there and have a crowd like that. Especially hitting your guts. It's gotta be so fun.
Oh man, it's a euphoric feeling unlike any other.
Now you brought up you going to Maryland. So this Saturday, March 29th, Waldorf, Maryland, for Assault Wrestling Alliance's March Madness 4. You're in Assault Rumble. How do you prepare for a Rumble like that?
Man, just know I don't want to go over the top rope.
Yeah.
I don't like falling backwards over the top rope. So the goal is just to go out there and show them what I can do. Obviously I know what I'm capable of, and I'm hoping to show whoever steps in that ring with me that night what I'm capable of. And I hope the fans in attendance know that when they see me, they're going to see something special and somebody special. And hopefully I can give them something memorable to remember me by.
Debut in Maryland. Winner of the Rumble, they get something?
I have not heard of the stipulation or the prize. But like I said, for me, I hope when I step in that ring, they know right then and there that they're looking at a future champion.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anyways. You're going to win and toss everybody's ass over the top rope anyways.
That's right, man.
Then April 5th, you're in Burlington, North Carolina for Foothills Wrestling Alliance. You're in a flag match against Nate Burnham for that WWE Championship. You just had a match with him last week before, a couple weeks ago.
Last month. A couple weeks ago, I wrestled him. and left him a bloody mess in the middle of that ring, man. He's a physical guy. He's a big guy. He's about 6'6", probably weighs about as much as me. But you see, I left him laying in a pool of his own blood. So the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And I think we're going to be looking at the new FWA heavyweight champion come April 5th.
All right. What's your strategy going to a flag match like that? Do you got to beat them down first, then go grab it? You try to sneak around them?
I look at it like it's not a wrestling match. It's a fight.
Yeah.
This isn't going to be pretty. It's not going to be headlock takeovers and chain wrestling. It's going to be an ass whooping. And that's exactly what I plan on doing. I plan on showing him exactly why I claim to be the most dangerous man from Dubai.
All right. Got some names for you here. See what your thoughts are. G Money.
Oh man. You know, I've wrestled him a few times across a couple of different promotions. Hell of a competitor, but honestly, if I'm keeping it real with you, great friend of mine, amazing guy.
Yeah, he told me to reach out to you. He said you'd be a good one, good person to talk to, good dude. What about the Caribbean Tiger?
Man, mentor, one word, mentor. Again, another guy who has hit me and kicked me harder than anybody has ever hit me before in my life. But honestly, just a mentor. I mean, the guy knows wrestling. He knows the psychology. And anytime I've stepped in the ring with him, he has brought out the best in me. And I'm appreciative of that.
All right. He looked like he's starting to hit his like prime now, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What about the chosen one, James Lee?
Potential. The kid has a lot of potential. He's reached out to me personally and asked me for some advice. And like I said, I mean, honestly, if he sticks to it, if he really hones in on who James Lee is, the kid has limitless potential.
I agree, because when the first time I saw him, I'm like, he's got something. Because to me, again, like we said earlier, the hardest part to me is that charisma, is that character, that gift the gab.
You can't teach that. You really can't teach that.
Absolutely, making me care about you.
And he definitely has something.
Yeah.
And I've told him personally, I mean, just keep it up, man. You have potential there.
What about True Grit, Alex Bryant?
Man, that guy is another one. I will say potential, but he's already doing it.
Yeah.
The sky is the limit for Alex Bryant, honestly. I don't know if he shared with you like some of his photos when he first started wrestling.
Yeah.
He was tiny, man.
Yeah,
and now like you see the guy on Instagram, you see him on Facebook and stuff. He's jacked.
Yeah.
And I think I even told him that recently. I said, man, one of the earliest things I learned in wrestling was you have to look like a wrestler.
Absolutely.
Not everybody's going to be 6'3", 250 pounds, but you have to have a look. And that guy now, when you see him, you're like, man, he is cut. He looks like a wrestler. He has charisma. So I won't even say potential. I will say he has the it factor.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because when I talked to him, we kind of talked about that, because I had him on here twice already. And what's kind of that is you got to put in that work, because if you put in that work, people notice you're taking it seriously. When people see that you're taking it seriously, man, it kind of puts you in a different level compared to everybody else on the card.
Absolutely. He has it. And I genuinely hope that he gets that opportunity that he rightfully deserves, really.
What about Gemstone?
I still want that rematch, but honestly, man, I learned a lot about Gem when we went over to Germany recently. Me, him, and G Money had went over to Germany and did work for some promotions over there and stayed with a good friend of ours, J5. Shout out J5. But no, I learned a lot about Gem, and the dude has a great work ethic, great ring worker. And he's been a huge help to me in my career on how to, work as a bigger guy, especially against, independent, smaller guys, things like that. And a guy that has just helped me tremendously in ways he doesn't even know.
It's awesome. What about Roman McIntyre?
Oh, Roman, man. Oh, man. Now, another one with just so much potential, man. He really has so much potential. if he hones in on Roman McIntyre and the character. And I'm excited to kind of see what the future has in store for him.
Yeah, like ever since he's linked up with James Lee, he's starting to get more of that personality coming out of him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a testament to James Lee though as well. You know, like I said, that charisma. Sometimes we all have it somewhere in there. You can't teach it, but James Lee is helping Roman kind of find out who Roman McIntyre is, and I'm excited to see what they do as a tag team coming up, but also just individually. I mean, I think they both have so much potential.
Yeah. Do those German fans, do they react to you the same way as the American fans do?
Oh, they hated me. So I got a funny story for over there when they let me cut a promo in one of the promotions, and I was in the back and I was kind of going over, just talking like, I don't really know what I'm going to say until I get out there. But it was a bet I had. I think G Money said something about if they boo you, you should just mention like that they lost the war. and I don't know what happened, but somebody was like, you will not say that. They will hate you for that if you say it. And it was one of those like, I'm gonna say it.
Yeah,
like I gotta figure out a way to say this to them. And from the moment I went out and got on the microphone, they did not like me. I think the best part of that show was at the end. I went in and sat with the promoter in like an office, and it was him and his daughter. And he looked at me and said, you were a hell of a heel. You had the audience's attention. You had a great match. And he said, my daughter, who is very critical of wrestling, she was a young girl, probably no more than 10 years old.
Yeah.
And he said, you were her favorite wrestler of the night.
That's awesome.
And he said, that is a testament to just, your character and the work you've put in. And it was great to work in front of the German fans.
That's awesome. You mentioned a lot of people that kind of helped you along the way. You got like one piece of advice you received that just kind of still sticks with you today?
Absolutely. Never stop learning. That's definitely the biggest thing, is just never stop learning. Study everything, good or bad. And that is something that I think I had even put on Facebook yesterday. And part of my story, I was at the gym doing some cardio, and it was probably past 9:00 at night. And on the TV, I had AEW on. And, I'm still watching wrestling when I'm in the gym. I'm studying promos. I'm studying psychology, ring work. I'm never stop learning or wanting to, stop learning.
You stop learning, you stop growing, you stop getting better.
Absolutely.
You got an opinion on Jey Uso being in the main event of WrestleMania? Because like a lot of people hating on him, saying he don't deserve it. What says you?
No, I mean, these guys they deserve everything they get. The fans tell you who belongs at this point. The guy's getting a hell of a reaction. So he deserves it. Selling merch, getting reactions out of the crowd. That's how it starts, man. You remember when Daniel Bryan, the whole yes movement, the crowd wanted him in. WWE didn't put him in at first. They finally listened to the fans. The fans are the voice, man. You have to listen to them. That's what's going to keep their attention. So he deserves it.
Yeah, the people that say he doesn't have never been to a live show, because I was just at a show over Christmas time. And oh my God, the guy, biggest reaction of the night. The people go every single person up on their feet when he came out. Like, you can't deny that. Like, I mean, you can't deny that he's the biggest thing right now that they have.
Absolutely. Deserves it.
Yeah. What's one thing you wish you knew when you first started that you know now?
Oh man. How hard the ring is. I think everybody thinks it's a trampoline or it's padded, it's like a mattress. I can assure you it hurts. But when that adrenaline is running, things like that, I don't feel anything until after the match.
I bet when
my chiropractor loves me. I will tell you that my chiropractor loves me after a match.
And I get vouch too. Well, not vouch, but I got like a referee class for a birthday present, like a 1 day kind of thing. And dude, slapping that mat, man, afterwards my hand was on fire, or like I can only imagine all day, every day taking those bumps on that.
No. And somebody says, hey, you're going to get on the top rope and I'm going to throw you off. And you're like, oh man, that's going to suck.
Yeah.
but we do it.
Yeah.
And it's for the entertainment of the fans. And, you know, most of us genuinely love to do it, man.
Yeah. Have you ever been in a real rickety ass ring?
Oh yeah, definitely. there's been rings that it was funny. Me and Alex were the last FWE show, and we said, man, when it's really, really cold and those mats get hard, you're trying to not take a whole lot of bumps that night. But you know, nights where you might have an air conditioned building and it feels good and you have a bump friendly ring, hey, you know, you might get a little more out of me that night.
All right, man. That's all I got for you. Where can people find you at?
Man, I'm on Facebook, Xander Keys. I'm on Instagram, Xander Keys Do Bye Bye. I post on there quite often. I post my upcoming appearances. I'm big on social media use. I'm big on promos. So I'm on YouTube. So yeah, I thought it was really cool. A funny story is my son said something recently. He said, Dad, I put in your name in YouTube and you came up.
That's
and
cool.
I thought that was awesome. When my son told me that, I felt like I made it.
Yeah. All right, last question before I let you go. What's your thought on guys not cutting promos for their matches?
Not good, man. Like a promo, and I just said this last night to a small class. I said a promo doesn't even need to be words. You have to get your character across somehow. But especially if you're in a storyline, you have to do promos. This is how people are going to see you. Other promoters are going to see you. Fans might see it and just get a little more intrigued with your match. So, you know, it doesn't need to be, G Money said early on in my career, he said, it doesn't need to be master theater.
Yeah.
But you have to give them something. So cut promos.
Yeah. That was what drives me crazy too when I see guys like that. I mean, it's free. Like the internet is free, and you have an opportunity to reach way more people than you would wrestling for 10, 15 minutes in front of a crowd. And the fact that people don't jump on it and utilize that, it's wild to me.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Xander, appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you. Really, thank you. Go follow him, go check him out. He's fun to watch. And I'm telling you, fun to watch either on the mic or in the ring, man. You're just a lot of fun to watch.
Hey, I appreciate this opportunity, and I'm wishing you nothing but the best. I hope we can do it again.
Absolutely. Everyone, have a good night. Appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.